Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, I'm going to Australia next week and I need to book a rental car. And I was just on the rental car website and I've seen something that looked quite exciting. You see, they've got something here called a mystery car. I've never heard of this concept before, but I thought I might try it just for a bit of fun. You see, well, let's have a look, shall we? I didn't want something that was that boring. And a lot of the cars available here are like an MG3 Core, which I don't really want. A Mazda CX-3, that's a bit dull. A Subaru Crosstrek, they're not a great car either. I had one of those in America a few years ago and it was quite poor. A Cupra Formentor, they're all right. I had one of those in Spain last year, I think. Had a Kona, a Kia K4. Now we don't get those in Europe, and they look quite cool, don't they? Nissan X-Trail. So a lot of it is quite dull stuff. So I thought by picking the mystery car, it would be a bit more exciting. I also didn't want to spend a fortune, so I've been looking at the lower end of the list. And like I say, I just didn't want something like an MG3. So this mystery car option does sound quite appealing. I'm not sure why rental companies have added this element of gambling to their business model, but anyway. I suppose if you look at it this way, it's about the same price as an MG3. And worst case, I'm going to end up with an MG3 answer. So anything's an improvement. I guess I'm going to end up with something that they haven't booked, or anything else basically. So I could have a result. I could get something bigger, I suppose. By picking the mystery car, I might end up with something like I don't know, one of those Kia K4s or a RAV4 even. That would be all right. Because if I book something like a Ford Everest, which looks quite cool, that's £110 a day, and this mystery car is only £29 a day. So it's a saving of like £80 a day just by taking this gamble. Should I do it? What do you reckon? Should we do this then? Let me know in the comments below if you've ever done this. Am I being stupid? Am I taking a risk? Let's book it. Pay at desk or pay online. There is almost no difference. We'll pay at the desk then. I think we'll do that. Do we want insurance? Yes, we do. Right, let's book this then. Go to checkout and review. Right, well that's all booked then. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know what I've let myself in for here. I've got to go home and pack and get organised. I've got about 12 hours to get down to Heathrow for my flight. So, yeah, I'll see you in Australia. Right, well I've just landed. I've got the shuttle bus over to this rental car village in the middle of nowhere, which is a little bit suspect, but they do it to keep costs down, so it does make sense. I've been given the keys now to a Mazda of some description. Now the key itself is covered in this little rubber shroud, I don't know why, protecting the plastic. And here it is. You know, when I picked mystery vehicle, I was half expecting it to be that Bayliner there, but sadly not. It's a Mazda instead. And this is a CX-5. No, it's not. It looks like a CX-5, but it is bigger. It's a CX-8. So I think, I'll have to do my research, but I think this is basically a long wheelbase CX-5 with 7 seats. Look at this. The boot's actually quite a good size. So you've got the 6th and 7th seat here. Let's see how much boot we're left with once they're in place. You know what, that's quite reasonable. In the old days, once you put the 6th and 7th seat up, you'd be left with this much boot. But here in this, you've still got a reasonable amount of space. Look at that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't get this in Europe. So it's a 7-seat Mazda CX-8. They do the CX-9, which is bigger. I've seen those. Again, I don't think we get that in Europe, but I've seen it last time I was in Australia. This is a rental car. It's all right, actually. Quite a low spec. Could do with a clean, but it'll do. I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought my mystery vehicle would have been something exciting. I don't know why, but when I picked mystery vehicle, I just expected, I don't know, I was hoping for a Mustang or something interesting. But this little Mazda will be fine. It was still quite cheap, compared to anything else on the website. Mazda do nice colours, This is a pearl white. I also like that deep red colour they do. Yeah, this is all right, it's automatic. Not much else to tell you, really. Let's get it fired up then and get the air conditioning on, because it's currently about 32 degrees and my little pasty English skin is going to get burned. I'm always a little bit concerned when the the rental car company aren't based at the airport, but they just do it just to reduce costs, so it does make sense. But when it's like, oh, you've got to get on this bus for 15 minutes, I start to panic. Well, it sounds nice. It's a petrol. I'm guessing it's a 2 litre or something, 4-cylinder. It's got keyless entry. I don't know what year this is, but it does all look a little bit old-fashioned, but hey, it's a rental car for a few days, it's fine. I'll have to check my bank, but I think this was something like $350 for 4 days. So it's less than $100 a day, which of course is, well, it's about 2 for 1 on the pound. So about £40 a day, I think. It's quite good value, isn't it, really? I did also pay the extra for the full insurance. So there's like a $200 excess now instead of a $2,000 excess. I always try and do that because I'm worried about them just charging my credit card for any little stone chip or whatever. Apparently the weather up here in Queensland can change at a moment's notice, and the lady at the rental car desk said that we're due hail. So I'm hoping the apartment that I've booked has got an underground garage. They usually do, so we should be fine. If not, I'm gonna have to try and park this under cover somewhere. I don't know. I saw on Instagram last week somebody that was here. They posted pictures of hail damage, and the hailstones were like the size of a tennis ball or something, so we could do without damaging the car, couldn't we really? At least there's no sunroof though, so we've got no glass to crack. Yeah, this'll do. It does feel like quite a spacious car though, this. I mean, the CX-5 in general isn't a bad car as long as you don't go for the diesel. It is essentially, I'll have to do my research, but from the looks of it at least, it does just look like a stretched CX-5. So yeah, it is a pretty ordinary rental car. But on the bright side, it is better than me booking an Astra or a Focus. It is a little bit better, isn't it? For about the same price, or $20 less, I could have ended up with an MG3. I think this is far superior. Having said that, I haven't driven it yet, so it might not be, but I expect Mazda do decent cars, don't they? Should we get this on the road then? We're going to head up to Gold Coast next. We're about 25 minutes away, I think. So we'll head up to Surfers Paradise, and I'll tell you what it drives like. Before we continue, I just need to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, Car Vertical. Now, before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike, it's really important that you do a thorough vehicle history check first. And with Car Vertical, that couldn't be easier. It doesn't take long and it isn't expensive, and it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK, all one word, HIGHPEAK, and you'll save yourself 20% off each and every check that you do. All you need to do is go to carvertical.com, and don't worry, I'll leave the link below in the video description, and type in the reg or the VIN. And this isn't just a UK thing, it even works here. It works in 35 different countries. And it'll tell you if the car or motorbike you're buying has been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. So it's a really thorough check. In addition to that, it shows you the MOT history, the ownership changes, the spec, the average market value, and a whole lot more. So thanks Car Vertical for sponsoring today's video. Right, back to the mystery car. Well, first impressions then, it's not half bad. It's nice and quiet. The gearbox I assume is a CVT because it makes that usual CVT noise, but it feels reasonably well done. You've got a nice leather dash, nice leather steering wheel. It's very European actually because you've got the infotainment controls down here, a bit like an Audi. You've got quite a nice decent sized screen up top. It does feel Japanese in places because it is, but it's not too bad. I've only got this for 3 or 4 days, so I don't have to live with it for a long time. It does sound like a CVT. Look at this, if you floor it. Well, maybe, having said that, maybe not. The engine screams a little bit, but then it might be a tad underpowered. It is quite a big car, this, especially when you've got 7 passengers in it. It handles nicely though. Steering's nice and light. Air conditioning works, which is good. You know, if it was a slightly better spec, for example, if it had a nice tan leather interior and a sunroof, I might be even more impressed. So this is the 2.5 litre petrol, but I believe it's also available with a 2.2 litre turbo diesel. I'm not a big fan of those Skyactiv diesels. I've been burnt too many times. 2 or 3 times over the years I've had them go wrong on me, and I've had to find a replacement motor. So I always try and avoid diesel Mazdas, but the petrols are alright, and they're quite reliable. It isn't a particularly exciting car, this, but I suppose if you just need transport for 7 people, it isn't a bad option. Personally though, I think I'd rather have something like a Kia Sportage or a Kia Sorento. Essentially what you're driving here is a long wheelbase CX-5. Now the CX-5 isn't a bad car, but it's just not particularly exciting. And you know what, I don't know what year this car is, but it's done 34,000 kilometres, so I imagine it's at least 2 years old. It all feels a bit dated. The whole infotainment system and the layout of everything feels very 2012, 2013. Speaking of the screen, this whole infotainment system uses Mazda's Connect system, but it doesn't seem to, well, connect. I can't get it to pair my phone, which is quite irritating. I'm not great with technology, but when I try and get it to pair, my phone appears, look, Matt's iPhone. It's not even doing it now. A second ago it said Matt's iPhone, but it wouldn't let me click on it. For a modern car, that's the least you'd expect. You want Bluetooth hands-free and Bluetooth media streaming, don't you? One thing I noticed straight away as well, the indicators are on the wrong side, or the correct side, the old British side. So you turn left and you just get your wipers on. I think this will be alright though, it's quite comfortable. You get a nice armrest, driving position's good, visibility's good. It isn't bad. I suppose this is kind of a replacement for the old Mazda MPV, which was a car that was named after a very short brainstorming session, wasn't it? The MPV. After a little bit of research, I've learned that prices of these in Australia start at $42,000, which is £21,000. In fact, less than £20,500. So it is very cheap, that, isn't it? I don't think you could buy a car like this in the UK for that sort of money, brand new. So I do forgive its cheapness in places. Oh, look at the Range Rover Classic Vogue Plus. That's seen better days, hasn't it? I still love it. The top spec model, the Asaki, and I might be pronouncing that wrong, that's $72,000, which would almost buy you a whole other base model, wouldn't it, on top? So I'm not sure that would be worth it, but for $42,000, it isn't a bad car, really. If you just wanted a car to go to the shops in and take the kids to school in, I mean, personally, I'd rather have a 10-year-old Mercedes GLC or something, but if you wanted something brand new with a warranty, it's not horrendous. Now, weirdly, they don't sell this model in the UK. The CX-8 isn't available in Europe. I think it's made for the Asian market and here in Australia. And that's a bit weird because I think this would sell quite well. Lots of people want a 7-seat family car with a good warranty. You know, you can't buy things like a Zafira anymore, so this would make sense, wouldn't it? Now, it wouldn't be my choice because I tend to make more reckless decisions. For a start, this doesn't use enough fuel for my liking. I've been averaging 11.2 litres per 100 kilometres, which I think is about 26 mpg, 27? When I booked this car, well, I say this car, I booked the mystery car, or the surprise car, whatever they call it. It was about the same price as a Ford Focus or a Vauxhall Astra. So I thought, well, I may as well take the risk, hadn't I, and see what they give me. I suppose really I've had a bit of a result because I've got quite a large car for the same price as a Ford Focus. There's a third row of seating, and with those down you get a massive boot for luggage. So it's not a bad car really for me and my mates from the airport. Yeah, I've not done too badly. Although I was hoping for something more exciting from my mystery car, it was probably worth doing and I would do it again, just for the excitement, the thrill of it. Looking around the car park, there were all sorts of interesting cars, Land Cruisers and Q7s and X5s and X7s and all that sort of stuff. So I could, potentially, have had one of those instead. So I think it's always worth taking the risk with the mystery car. I think in theory, and if you read the small print, then they can't give you something like a Fiat 500 instead. It's got to be a certain size. So in this case, it was worth picking the mystery car. The last time I was in Australia, I saw the CX-9 Mazda, which is a much bigger car. And again, I don't think that's one we get in Europe. And when they gave me the key for this, I thought it might... It's a laptop that's just broken. When they gave me the key for this, I thought it was a CX-9, to be honest, so I was quite intrigued to see what it would be like. That's kind of like BMW X5 size. Well, I'm not far away from the apartment now, so I think that's about it. But don't worry, I've got plenty more Australian content coming soon, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the link below. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.